Hello everyone and welcome back to the English Shooting live stream. Same place, same time, same deal. For any of you regulars, you know what the deal is. You've got the chat section below by the side. You can get involved, bring up any topics, any questions that you want to answer. We of course have an agenda for this evening, lots of things that have happened in the past week, some things you may know about already if you follow the English Shooting Facebook page, and some things you might not be aware of, so we'll get through all of those in the evening. But yeah, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to bring up, let me know. Don't forget, of course, to hit the like button. It does make a huge difference to the analytics. Of course, being a gun channel, YouTube doesn't particularly like the channel and like promoting the channel, so giving it as many likes as possible does really help. And straight away, a few thank yous. Xbox One Geeks, if you're here, thank you very much. That was a pre-stream donation, and Richard Weston as well. Thank you very much appreciated in helping the channel. Roll on the Rangers opening. Yes, I mean that is potentially some of the biggest news this week, and I haven't even got it written it down on the pad. To be honest, my personal take on everything COVID is just I've really lost the will to live with it. Like I'm not getting excited. I'm not really paying attention to when we're going to be allowed to do what. I'll just wait until it happens, until people start doing things again, and then I'll join in. But yes, a date has been set. It's still potentially a few months or a couple of months away until we can really get back into it, although some outdoor sports can start, I believe, the end of March. Again, I'm not so hot on it because it's like, until I can actually do something, I don't care. But yes, we looking forward to it, looking forward to getting back into the matches. I'm signed up for the, I think, 3 level 3s. There's the one down at Dartford, one down up in Scotland, and one over at the Pro Shoot. Haven't been to Pro Shoot yet, so that will be interesting. It's really, ramping up in terms of size there and the facilities that they have. So yeah, looking forward to getting back into matches, looking forward to getting back out of the range. I'm sure all of you are as well. Of course, David Kiddle here. Thanks, David, for joining. As usual, we will be talking about this a little bit more in depth, but there is a new shooting show this year, the Modern Shooting Show, on the 26th of June at the Newbury Racecourse. Magload will be there, I'll be there, and there's already a growing attendance list, so it should be good. Having said that about earlier about YouTube not particularly liking gun channels, it's been a crazy week for the channel, actually. There's been a lot of well, we've actually had the best day ever on record in terms of views, subscribers gained. I guess I've finally, after 5 years of running the channel, managed to actually find what works and what people seem to enjoy. So, a fast learner as always. But yeah, the knife video, what you can carry, or can you carry a knife in the UK, that thing's gone absolutely berserk. There's a load of new subscribers come from that video. So if any of those new subscribers are watching, thank you, welcome. I hope I don't put you off too much during this stream. And also the Ely video. So we will be covering the Ely ammunition update a little bit more this evening for anyone that hasn't seen that video, but that video does seem to have been a popular one as well. So you guys might be wondering what the title is: shooting ourselves in the foot. And there's not a huge amount of information on this out there at the moment, but I managed to find this web page. It was being shared around. I think I found it from Mike Lindsay, and it basically shows a response from Kit Malthouse, who is, he's in charge of the Firearms Safety Consultation. If for those of you that don't know what the Firearms Safety Consultation is, you've probably been living under a rock, or you're very new to the channel. So basically, there's 4 main areas of shooting sports that they wanted to legislate further. There was air guns, high muzzle energy rifles, ammunition, and also miniature rifles. That's 2.2 rimfire rifles. And technically, as the law is written, you could have a centerfire 223 on there, which is probably why they're changing it. So somebody asks about the response to the Firearms Safety Consultation. There hasn't been a full response yet, a full analysis and sort of breakdown and official response from the Home Office, but Kit has confirmed that there were 12,000 responses. You can see that, there we go, 12,000 responses to this consultation. And unfortunately now, I know I would hope there's going to be a high, sort of, a disproportionately high response rate from, say, the people that, or you guys that follow English Shooting and watch the videos and watch the streams, because I've been going on about this for months now, and I've been saying how important it is, how we have our chance to have our say. I know the naysayers like to say, well, it doesn't make a difference, they're going to do what they want anyway. You might be right, but you're no worse off giving a response and putting in your response. So bearing in mind, we've got around 500,000 shotgun certificate holders here in the UK. I think around 200,000 firearm certificate holders, and it's a few million air gunners. Now, shotgun shooters, I know I don't want to be one of those guys that say, oh, you know, it doesn't affect me, therefore, you know, I'm not interested, because you should all be interested. Anything with a trigger, if you go out and pull it, you should be interested in protecting every aspect of target sports, of shooting, no matter what you're involved in. But for the purposes of this, let's exclude the shotgun certificate holders and focus on the around 200,000 FAC holders. This is less than, it's around 5%, right? So if you assume that all of those responses were FAC holders, it's 5% of FAC holders. But of course, it's not all FAC holders, it's not all shooters. You're going to have anti-gunners in there, you're going to have people that are, you know, anti-shooting, that are potentially, you know, even people like Hunt Saboteurs and the League Against Cruel Sports. They are going to be swarming on this, you know, the gun control network, they're going to be on this straight away. So out of those 12,000 responses, I would say we're lucky if we account, as shooters or firearms owners, account for 75% of it, which then drops it down to about 9,000 responses, which I think is absolutely pathetic. You know, 200,000 FAC holders, this in some way is going to affect every single FAC holder, no matter what area of shooting you're into, because this response was covering so many different areas. But then when you bring in the airgun owners, which this consultation was predominantly focused on the airguns, it was about stopping under 18s from having unsupervised access to airguns, and out of the millions of airgun owners, this then makes it less than 1% that has responded. So you sort of have to ask yourself, what are we doing? We've had things like the petition in terms of getting handguns back for sporting purposes. Yeah, that was a few years ago. That got around, I think, 20,000 responses. Again, pathetic in comparison to the numbers of shooters, the numbers of people that would go out and use a handgun for sporting or target purposes. And I think we're doing ourselves a disfavor. We are, you know, as the title or thumbnail would suggest, we are shooting ourselves in the foot. We've been given a really good opportunity to have our voice heard directly to government, directly to the Home Office, to neighbours, to all the people that are most often against us, and we've wasted it. So I know, again, the majority of you guys would have responded to it. I really hope the majority of you guys watching would have responded to it. But really, anyone that hasn't, there was no excuse. The answers were provided to you by Bask. I shared the hell out of them. And I just think it's laziness, or you know, maybe people are just taking the view now that, oh, well, they're going to take it away anyway. We might as well enjoy what we've got and not put up a fight. We might as well go and surrender all of the guns now. We might as well close down all the ranges, stop all the clubs, and just take up knitting. So, you know, it's really disheartening. I really had hoped it would have been a lot more. In terms of the cause, yes, maybe people aren't so interested in it. I don't know why, because it would affect so many people. But I do have to, and I know give me any excuse, and I'll turn my sights onto Bask. But their response initially was very poor. Yes, towards the end, the last couple of weeks, they did gear it up. They were sending out a few emails, doing a few posts about it, live streams, so on and so forth. But there were 3 months where we had to respond, and out of 3 months, they really focused on the last 2 weeks. It's, as I said, it's too little, too late, and to add to that, they had prior warning. They knew this was coming months and months and months beforehand. They could have prepared to it. The NRA here, and for any American viewers, this isn't the NRA US. We have the NRA of the UK. Their response to this was pathetic. I think I maybe saw one, maybe two posts from them. The NSRA, very little response from them. And bearing in mind, one of the main aspects was mini rifle, you would think that the NSRA would have been all over this. So collectively, between the NSRA, the NRA, BASC, BASC, the Countryside Alliance, the Gun Trade Association, all of the big names, and very little push, very little exposure, and I can't help but think that a lot of the lack of response is in part due to the lack of exposure that the organisations that have, BASC has 150,000 members. There should be 150,000 responses. It just winds me up. It's obviously wound Mike Lindsay up as well. He's not particularly happy about it, and it's frustrating because I've spent a lot of time. I think I've bored a lot of you to death. I'm probably boring a lot of you to death going on about it still, but this is important, and when the government sees only 12,000 responses, do you know what they're thinking? They're thinking, okay, well, this isn't going to annoy many people at all. 12,000 people, 12,000 voters. We can get away with not having 12,000 voters for us next election. That's what you're saying. We're not important enough. We're not big enough. Don't worry about us. Just, chip away at us gradually, and we're not going to moan too much. So anyway, yeah, there's the rant for this evening over, or at least the first one. As you'll notice, I've gone to the branded IPA this evening, a lovely punk IPA, but funnily enough, I wanted to actually do a taste test, but I'll do it live on stream. I've got the Sainsbury's brand IPA as well, so that's what I'm drinking. Can highly recommend. Imagine giving BASC or the NRA money. Well, the thing is with the NRA, you really have to look at it as two separate organisations, and of course they got in a lot of trouble with the Charity Commission a while back in not being so clear and upfront exactly of how the organisation was structured. So they had, there's Bisley, there's the National Shooting Centre. That is a limited company, that is a commercial entity, but it's owned solely by the charity, the NRA. So you have to join the NRA. This is sort of where it becomes a bit weird. You have to join the NRA to then use the National Shooting Centre to become a member effectively of Bisley and the NRA. That is the only reason that I would ever give the NRA money. I don't think they do enough to protect the sport. I certainly don't think they actually do enough to protect the residents and occupants at Bisley, let alone the sport as a sort of a wider angle. But yeah, I mean, Bisley, it is hands down the best range facility in the UK. I am hoping there's a few potentials for better ranges, but we'll have to see how that goes. But Bisley is still the best. There's nowhere else in the UK you can shoot that much. The variety of firearms there. So I would give the NRA membership, but solely to use Bisley. I mean, they like to talk about protecting shooters and offering the legal insurance. Well, when they found out that I had issues with my licenses, they just revoked my membership. So no help, no support. So you can take it from me, if you end up in a sticky situation and you're going to rely on the insurance from the NRA, don't rest on that. Don't rely on it. Anyway, I've got something dangling in the corner of my head. I just cannot get it. Is that it? Or was it somebody watching me? Anyway, that's sort of the first topic covered. It's just disappointed. There's no more information about this at the moment. As soon as there is more, or certainly an official response, or the consultation turns into a bill, then I'll certainly be covering it. So you make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to learn a little bit more about that. So yeah, just let me catch up through the comments. You guys you've been busy. This looks like this one's been an interesting topic for you guys. Lots of familiar faces. Simon, thanks for joining. I did see Urban Space Monkey saying that it's the first time they've managed to catch this live, so I hope it's worth it. I hope again, this is a top quality stream. I'm having a little bit of fluctuation with the internet. It doesn't seem nearly as bad as last week, and I hope the ads are okay this week. I know there was a problem with ads last week on the stream, so I've changed a few settings, and hopefully YouTube just lets us get on in it and enjoying it and enjoy the stream. What do I think about Canada's new C-21 bill? To be honest, I haven't had time to really look into that yet. I will give it a read up and potentially make a full video on it. But yeah, I spend a lot of my time focusing on the UK. I feel there's, I can do stuff in my own way. I can do stuff about, I can do something about stuff that happens in the UK. In terms of internationally, I'm always up for helping fellow shooters abroad, but I don't feel there's a lot potentially that I can do for people in Canada. And the Canadians and the Americans usually have things down when it comes to protecting their rights around firearms ownership. So I think we have to learn more from them than they have anything to learn from us. John Fisher experienced the same thing during the loss of handguns, inertia and lethargy from FAC holders. We take part in sport hobbies, always under attack. Many shooters don't deserve to hold firearms. Yes, I mean, some people do just want to be, say, left alone, keep their heads down, and there is the mentality of, if you stick your head up, you're going to get hammered. Yep, I can probably agree with that one, but to sit back and just watch your sport be decimated. I mean, you do have to, potentially look at it in terms of their way of thinking, I would imagine, which is, if you've been through the semi-auto ban, if you've been through the handgun ban, and you've been through every recent ban, there's got to be a point where you do just give up inside. Unfortunately for some organisations and people, that's not in my sort of mentality. I will keep going until the bitter end. So, bring it. So the Canadians have lost almost all of their guns rights because of Trudeau. They are just as bad as us now. Yeah, I mean, I know that they were looking to ban AR-15s and bring in all sorts of arbitrary, meaningless restrictions. I did catch that a few months ago. Unfortunately, this is very indicative of firearms ownership. Not many people like guns. It's an easy win subject for most people. Certainly, if you already have restrictions. Again, the saying that Americans have all the time, which is, registration leads to confiscation. It's true. They can't come and take the guns away if they don't know where they are. And this is one of the things that always fascinates me about going out to the States and, talking to shooters out there within the community. I remember I was in Roswell for work, and I went to a local gun shop, and I walked in and instantly, I think I was with a colleague, and they picked up the British accent, and started chatting to him, and he was like, "Oh, so you're a shooter?" I was like, "Yeah, I've got, I can't remember how many guns I had at the time, but telling him about the guns that I'd owned and all that." And he goes, "Yeah, I've got 50 guns at home, and that's just what the government knows about." And he was just so proud. It wasn't even like a brag or a boast. He was just proud of the fact that he had all of these undisclosed amount of guns that just weren't on a register, no one knew about. It's, I would say a dream for most of us to have any sort of collection of that size, never mind one that is, in essence, very hard for the government to take away. But yeah, it's just a very different culture out there. And of course, with the freedom of speech out there, they're protected to say a lot of things that would get us, quite a bit in trouble here within the UK. That's for sure. Yes, David, you did send me. There's it was a video of somebody in Canada, they're basically, I wouldn't say necessarily copying us, but they've come to the same conclusion as we did in terms of what can you then do with a gun if it's not semi-auto and full bore, and they're being quite innovative at the moment. I have seen a few things around that, so it just goes to show, you know, there's it's what happens here all of the time. You know, ban LBPs. Okay, we'll add a rod to it and make the barrel longer. Damn. You know, oh, we're banned semi-auto rifles. Okay, we'll put a lever on the side or a double pull trigger. Damn. You know, oh, we're banned those. We're banned the Mars and lever release, and Southern Gun Company is like, hold my beer, under lever AR. You know, it's just like every corner you can just get round it. You know, create a new sort of new mechanism and just, you know, carry on as you were almost. And actually there's a topic that I've got here, and it's sort of very it's a nice segue into it in terms of getting around the laws. This is a very interesting video. I shared this on again, I don't know what my internet's going to do. It may kill everything, so we'll see how it goes, but I'll leave it on the freeze frame just for now. I put this video shared this video on English Shooting on the Facebook page. And no, that isn't an LBP. For anybody here in the UK, you're going to recognise that instantly as a long-barreled pistol. It's not. It is a 3D printed Glock in California. And what's on the front is what makes it Californian compliant. The laws and the hoops and the requirements for making guns out there is just absolutely insane, like specifically within California. So basically he had to make this a bolt action Glock with I think, was it a 12 or 14 inch barrel to comply to California. I'll try it. Let's see if it will play. So you can see the bolt action mechanism there. It's just absolutely crazy. Oh yes, and it's single shot. You can't have a magazine, so you have to, I think, manually extract or certainly manually put in each round, manually chamber it. So yeah, the video is available on the where you can. This is the channel, so it's Reno May. I'm actually going to drop him a message because I don't know if he's aware of long barrel pistols in the UK, but that's instantly what I thought of it. But yeah, if you want to go and see it, I 3D printed a Glock in California, and it's Reno May. And also you can get the link on English Shooting on the English Shooting Facebook page if you don't want to go searching for it on YouTube. So it just goes to show, you know, if you make laws intended to, you know, stifle gun owners without actually any justification or any statistical evidence, it just goes to show that gun owners, you know, we're fairly smart people. There seems to be a disproportionate amount of engineers within the gun industry. That's something that I've noticed you know, over my shooting career, and people love to get in their sheds and make things and tinker with things, and that's where we get a lot of these contraptions that end up making a lot of laws very very meaningless. Again, like the Mars, like the lever release, and now like the underleaving Southern Gun Company AR-15. So yeah, a lot of you yes, I'd rather have an LBP than that monstrosity. Yes, I'm not saying I want to go out and buy one of those, and I would like to add one of those to collection. It is a monstrosity. I mean, at the end of the day, I will say that you know, LBPs are a monstrosity for all intents and purposes. I don't like the look of them. They're not good looking guns. I'd much rather have, you know, the short barrel and no rod, but it's better than nothing in my mind. And I think for those of the people out there that goes, I'm not shooting an LBP because, you know, it's, you know, we should have real handguns, and I'm not sort of playing around with this, or I can't give us everything or nothing at all. Well, you're just making them win more. You're making the people that brought in that legislation win even further, because we can own LBPs, we can own LBRs, and if you choose not to use them, well, that's less guns being owned, that's less guns being shot. And I do think there's probably a few people turning in their graves when people go out shooting an LBP, thinking that they'd won this, you know, this handgun ban. Well, no, we just work our way around that, won't we? What's going on? Black Guinea Pig, thanks for joining as always. Excluding Action Air, do you think that airsoft should be included in anything where you pull a trigger is shooting. I think that airsoft skirmishing can make normal shooters look bad. I mean, I'm not gonna disagree with you in terms of looking bad, but in what context? Because game shooters make shooters look bad. You know, trophy hunters can make shooters look bad. Practical shooters can make shooters look bad. You know, it just depends in what way, in what context. And really, if we're going to start, you know, pointing fingers at each, let's say, division of shooting, I hate using that word because we're all shooters, but you know, if the clay shooters start pointing fingers at the practical shooters, and the game shooters start pointing fingers at the target rifle shooters, we're then just infighting. And I really think that the best way is for us to just treat anything with a trigger as a gun. You know, I know the skirmishing is different to, say, IPSC action air, but a lot of people start their shooting career from skirmishing. I've said it a million times, there was the club, the Phoenix shooting club in Slimford. That's where I started practical shooting, and it must have been the majority of members there had actually started shooting from the skirmish site. It was on the same site, but it was sort of split into two. You sort of had the skirmish side, and you had the practical shooting side. And of course, the skirmishers go there one day, and if there happens to be a day where there's both skirmishing and practical shooting, the skirmishers could hear what was going on and going, well, wait a minute, that's real guns. What's going on over there? And they would all go over and have a look, and it was like so many. There was two guys actually. A guy called Rob. He was the one responsible for getting me into practical shooting. We went clay pigeon shooting one time, and he was like, "You tried this practical thing?" I was like, "No," and he invited me along to Phoenix. And he said, like, he was one of those guys. He was a skirmisher. He heard the loud bangs, went over and literally like threw his skirmish gear on the floor. He was like, I think he said it took him all of like 2 or 3 months to sell all of his skirmishing gear and then get into practical shooting. So, you know, it's a gateway. If people are finding live fire and practical shooting through skirmishing, then great. But what we have to do is make that sort of definitive divide of, look, skirmishing is a very particular type of shooting. For one, it's very different because you're shooting at people, and a lot of people get practical shooting and IPSC and 3-gun shooting confused with skirmishing, because again, it looks very dynamic, but of course within IPSC or 3-gun, you're never pointing that gun at anyone because you're going home otherwise. So yeah, no, anything with a trigger, be that airsoft, air guns, be that black powder, shotguns, rifle, like, you're all shooters. You all have a gun of some kind, you all have a target of some kind, and you're all pulling a trigger sort of at that target and releasing a projectile at that target. As long as it's done safely, as long as it's done sensibly, then what's the problem? I mean, I've been skirmishing, I've been paintballing, absolutely love it. It's very weird, sort of coming from, say, IPSC and 3-gun and going into paintball, but there's always 5 minutes at the beginning of a match or the beginning of the day where I sort of have to override the don't, you know, keep it pointed in a safe direction, finger off the trigger, you know, don't point it at anyone, know what's beyond your target. And sort of once I've recalibrated myself, it's just like, okay, game on, you know, I'll go hell for leather. Usually why I probably end up spending so much at paintball, just blat and hope, right? Richard, thank you very much again for that. Poll: if semi-autos were allowed but your ammo would need to be held at an approved club armory, would that be an acceptable compromise? Yes, because it's like, you know, we're here at the moment and we want to be here, and someone offers here. Well, it's a lot easier to get from there to there than it is there to there. So we're compromise, wait a few years, and then we'll go for more. You know, that's you know, you work your way up. I mean, for those saying no, like, you're entitled to your opinion, but really, if the government turned around tomorrow and said you could have semi-auto rifles, you just need to keep the ammunition at a club, would you really say no, I'm not going to bother? You know, you have the opportunity to shoot, you know, competitions again, matches again in semi-auto. Like, I would be all for that. And it's usually what I talk about when I have somebody that's on the fence about guns. and you know, I'm trying to convince them to sort of come on our side of the fence. That's usually one of the suggestions, certainly with handguns, is, well, why don't we keep them at a range somewhere? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'd be absolutely up for that, but you do also then have to take into account the security implications of keeping a large sum of guns in one location. Makes it a very big target, very obviously attractive for criminals, and if they do manage to get in, they're making off with a lot of guns. So you know, you usually get people to a point where they're like, okay, well, yeah, keep the handguns and semi-auto rifles at a club, and then from there you can chip away at the rest. But as long as you get people to that point, I think it's a great cornerstone for getting further. But yeah, I personally, Richard, absolutely, I would I think it's an acceptable compromise. At the end of the day, I still don't think there's any justification for us not having semi-auto full-bore rifles or handguns. There's no statistical evidence to sort of prove otherwise, but that's certainly better than what we have at the moment. There were a lot of questions that, as a target and vermin shooter, had to openly say I'm not qualified to state an opinion on. Don't know what you're referring to on that. Let's have a look. Firearm Fund for UK. Oh, you guys are chatty this evening, aren't you? Callum, that would be a thin end of the wedge to making ammo restricted, so no. Well, I'll caveat what I've just said. You know, I can see sort of where you're coming from on that. I'm not saying we should keep all. I'm not agreeing to the fact that we should then keep all ammunition for all guns, then in the range. But specifically for handguns, specifically for semi-auto rifles, then yes, of course, you get this sort of funny situation where you might have a 223 bolt action. And I think there should be an exemption where you'd still be allowed to keep some ammunition at home for that. I'm not saying I want to see all ammunition kept at a club, but if someone said about it, or maybe you have to keep the, did you say ammo or the gun? I think let's say the gun, actually. Let's move ammo out of it, because as we know from recent events, it's very easy to get hold of a large quantity of ammunition. But let's just say the guns. Would you think it was an acceptable compromise if we were allowed semi-auto full-bore rifles and handguns, but the guns were kept at a club? No other guns that we're currently allowed to own, but semi-auto and handguns. Personally, again, I would take that. Yes, I can see thin end of the wedge. They may then use that to spread it out to all guns. I don't think that's feasible. I don't think that is in any way achievable because of the amount of space that would be required, because of the security implications. I really can't ever see that happening. But certainly for handguns, I would take that any day of the week, because then you could still go to the club, you could then book your handgun out and shoot it, which at the moment we can't do. And I've seen a lot of people saying, you know, 7.3 clubs, you know, so using the 7.3 model, then I would be good for that. And after speaking with Andrew Mercer, the CEO of the UK NRA, that is what their long-term plan is, to use 7.3, the historical sort of exemption for having handguns here in the UK. For anybody that doesn't know, there is a video that was done recently on the channel. Go and have a look at that. It goes into a fair amount of detail what you can and can't do and why it's here, why we have it. But there is a way to own handguns in the UK. To shoot them, they just have to be stored elsewhere, and it can only be for, let's just say, collecting purposes. There's a few other reasons as well, but I'm sure Black Guinea Pig will be able to diversify on the justifications for having that. But yes, Andrew Mercer has said previously that they very much plan on using that model to roll out sporting ownership of handguns again. Of course, there are a number of Section 5. Again, for anyone that doesn't know, Section 5 is our sort of highest tier of firearm certification and licensing. It's any other weapon, so full autos, handguns, anything that can't be owned under Section 1 and Section 2 are on Section 5. Well, there are a number, I believe 20 Section 5 certificates for sport shooting, which allows our Team GB, people going and shooting for the Olympics, to have their guns to be able to go and train with them. I have heard of a lot of people being very upset with the NRA, because they keep raising the prices, they keep cancelling bookings, they keep prioritizing the military and the police for use of these certain ranges. And like Team GB are saying, look, we don't get enough time to use these ranges, and also it's now prohibitively expensive for us to do. But anyway, that was their plan to get. They've got these 20 licenses, and then Andrew Mercer was like, look, then we're going to go for 40, then we're going to go for 100, and then we're going to go for 200, and then before you know it, you've got so many people sort of walking around with the Section 5 sporting licenses that you can then go over to the Home Office and say, look, you know, we've already got a couple of hundred people doing this. This isn't an issue. Can we now roll this out back to Section 1 and have things how they were? Of course, everyone knows after the handgun ban, crime actually went up, gun crime went up. And actually, after every single further restrictions on firearms licensing or you know, on gun control in the UK since the 1920s, firearm crime has every single time without fail risen. So if you want any more justification for not bringing in more legislation and not bringing in more restrictions, just look at history, because it tends to repeat itself where guns are concerned. Anyway, quite a fun topic that you guys will be familiar with. This brand. I got sent another goodie package. I always get a bit nervous. I think I've jumped the gun on this before, but I believe all of these are now available to buy. You will have probably heard of Sticky Bolt. I don't want to put the address on there, but you get this lovely package. Well, I say the lovely package. It's just an envelope, guys. Like, my life isn't that boring. I don't get that excited about envelopes. But it's like attention to detail. You've got a sticker sealing it, and you've got a little note inside, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, just brilliantly done. Of course, Sticky Bolt do make the magload stickers, so we have the quite infamous now The Face. Some of you may recognise who that is. He hasn't been on the stream for a long time, but we will get him back at some point. And of course, the magloaded 1522 sticker. Go on. There it is. So those are both available. Got to get the plug in there, right? Otherwise, Connors will get angry. Available from magload.co.uk. But there are some more Sticky Bolt stickers. So I'll show you guys. You've got the gun oil one. I mean, the quality on these are just absolutely superb. The actual sticker quality, but the design as well. You've got a Scorpion. I did see there's also an MP5. I wasn't sent that one, unfortunately. That would have perhaps become my favourite one. But the Scorpion is pretty cool. You've got your lead pills there. So just some are, you know, like takes on sort of real things like the Scorpion, and then some things are just a bit of fun. So again, you can see that one's a shiny there, holographic. Now I've had one of these before. This is obviously larger round. Again, foil, sticky. The Ignite sticker. These are absolutely amazing quality. I have these actually on the toolbox at work. The 50 cal, and I believe this is actually life size. You can see you've got all the different ammunition components there. You've got some shotgun cartridges. Come on, have I got it the right way up? I can't see it. Come on. Is that everything? I think that is all. I love the gun ones. You know, you know that I love my morale patches as well, and I love the. Oh, go on, focus. You can do it. No, it's died on me. Anyway, so it's a blurry Scorpion. So for anyone that's interested, I should have checked there's actually no web address on it. Oh, there you go. It's stickybolt.co.uk if you're interested in any of those. They bring out new designs, new stickers all the time. Great company. I mean, you know, again, we work with them on with Magload. Great designer. And you know, British, you know, made in Britain, designed in Britain. So yeah, support British businesses. But yeah, absolutely, absolutely great stickers. Can't recommend Sticky Bolt enough, and I'm obviously very appreciative of them continuing to send down their their stickers to me. Damn, this 720p camera is really holding up well. So yeah, I remember last week didn't have particularly good connection. It is still a little bit fluctuating, but things seem to be a little bit more stable. How are the ads? Any annoying ads so far? Did you see a comment? Ginger Soul Gamer, love the videos, buddy. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for watching. Colin, you can store a handgun at Bisley, of course. Yep, with section 7.3. There are, I believe, around a dozen sites, designated sites up and down the country where you can store them. It's the HBSA. It's the Historical Breech Loading. Sorry. Historical breech loading muzzle. No, what is it? Let me. Black Guinea Pig will know this. HBSA. Let me just get that up. If you're interested in section 7.3, so it's the Historical Breech Loading Small Arms Association, the HBSA. Those guys are like the authority on section 7.3. If you want to learn more, if you want to get into it, again, highly recommend going and watching that video. It is called Collecting Handguns in England. So you'll learn everything about it. But the HBSA is where you want to head if you're interested in taking advantage of that. No ads yet, Gary. Who's Gary? Oh God, like maybe we should have a meme review in the Discord later. It does worry me. Things do seem to get out of hand when we do that. Let me just double check a particular website for this. Oh, Jesus Christ. How long have you been waiting, Captain, for me to say this? So we've got a little bit of a tradition on the stream now, thanks to Captain Crack. Or Crank, or whatever. I'm just gonna call you Captain Crack from now on, because the crack is good. No, not like that. So there is a website called onlyguns.co.uk, and every single week, Captain does like to surprise us with even more images. And I have to say, if you didn't know that this was photoshopped, it's scarily realistic. So this is the image for this week. Bask approves this message. Yeah, that's. I mean, if that's how I'm gonna look when I'm older, yeah, I don't know. I might just end it all now, to be fair. But moreover, Connors, what, like? I mean, he sort of looks like one of those sort of majestic, like magical gunsmiths, like kept in the back room somewhere. You know, the old adage that the longer the beard, the more knowledge that I has on gunsmithing. And yeah, age has not treated me well there. That's for certain. So yes, thank you, Captain, for that. I will look forward to next week's image. So that's onlyguns.co.uk. If you want to make it as your homepage and have a little surprise every now and again when it fires up an image like that. Anyway, it is Captain Crack. Yes, yeah, there we go. Sorry, it's the IPA that's it's messing with the brain. Also, people seem to be having a bit of a debate in the chat. So anyway, some big news. Although I did make a video on this, which I believe many of you have seen. The Ely ammunition has been recovered. So I don't know if it's absolutely every single round accounted for yet, but the majority of it has been recovered. So if you guys again don't know what's happened, basically a lorry left the Ely ammunition, and again don't get it confused with Ely Hawk. There are two ammunition companies here in the UK. There's Ely Hawk, which does the shotgun cartridges, and there is Ely Ammunition, which it does the rifle and some pistol ammunition as well. But they're well known for their 2.2 rimfire. A lot of Olympic champions use their stuff, top level Olympians, and also practical. They have got into the practical. Their team is growing. We've got Ben Ducker under Team Ely and Josh Hicks, who are also both under Team Magload. They're top of the game when it comes to sort of mini rifle here in the UK, and they're using the Ely practical stuff. But anyway, a lorry left, I think it was on the 17th of February, left the factory. The guy stopped off for his rest break, fell asleep in the cab, and then guys broke into the back and made off with 330,000 rounds. Again, there is a full video on this going into the depths of it, but the long and the short of it is that they've arrested 6 people from the last report that I saw, and they had recovered, they said, the majority, if not all of the ammunition. So credit where credit is due, and I say this in the video. The police and NTA managed to track down that ammunition in under 10 days. One thing, again, a lot of people seem to be saying, "No, this shouldn't have happened. Why was somebody sleeping in a cab with all that ammunition in the back?" Look, Ely have been doing this for decades, right? And it's obviously not been an issue or a potential threat until now. It's fairly routine for drivers to have a sleep. Some drivers live in their cabs. So if you've just done a full day of driving and, in the last hour you've gone and picked up ammunition, you're going to be tired, you have to have your mandatory break, you have to sleep, regardless of what you've got in the back. If you stay up because you're worried about someone breaking in the back, and then you start driving a 20 or 30 ton vehicle down the road, having not slept for like 2 days, that's going to be more dangerous than potentially people, stealing the ammunition out the back on a wider scale, if drivers were going to do that. I'm sure Ely are going to change their procedure. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up having to have 2 drivers or 2 people in the cab with one awake at all time, or they may have or start arranging their delivery so that the drivers, they have their full, I don't know what the time is that they're allowed to go for without a break, but have basically their full day to be able to get the ammunition to where it needs to go, so that they don't need to make any stops. But yeah, that's just a little coverage. Again, if you want to learn more, there is a video on the channel. Another video on the channel that I want to touch on very quickly didn't go down particularly well, if I'm going to be honest. Obviously, the owners of the guns more so offended, and that's the video that went out this week on the Mossberg 940JM Pro. And I sort of want to make like absolutely crystal clear, I'm not just crapping on that gun for no reason. My main gripe, main gripe is the marketing of it, and a lot of people being, I think, in a way misled. Funnily enough, the day after that video went out, there was a video of Jerry Michalak shooting his 940JM Pro. Again, completely different to the standard gun, but anyway, the main issue is the price. Like, I didn't have that much of an objection to the 930 because it was like £500 here, 550, maybe £600. At that price point, you don't expect it to be as good as an M2 or a 1301. But the main issue with what I feel is the main issue with the 940JM Pro is that it's too much money for that gun. When you're £100 away from a Benelli M2 field, when you're a few £100 away from a 1301 or a Comp or Comp Pro or the Benelli M2 SP, personally, my opinion on it, from what I've seen out there, like, you're much better off going for the M2 or the 1301. But to be fair and to keep things balanced, there have been a lot of owners that have got in touch, that have commented, responded to that video, and have said that they've had absolutely no issue. But then I sort of liken that to the M3000, the Stoeger M3000 that I've used for a number of years now. No gun is perfect. Every gun is going to have issues at some point. You're going to have bad batches. You're going to have the odd bad gun that's just, something's not right with it from the factory. That's going to happen with Benelli. That's going to have Beretta, with Mossberg, with Stoeger, so on and so forth. But the volume of failures or malfunctions that people are experiencing, and also so soon after it's just been released, is a little bit worrying. And the reason I refer it to the M3000 is because I highly rate the M3000, but it's not a good gun, right? It's fantastic for the money, but overall, compared to the rest of the market, it's not a good gun. It is very hit and miss if you get a good one or a bad one. You know, luckily the one that I've been using has been a particularly good one, but I've also seen people use M3000s and they can't get 5 shots in a row without it jamming. And the thing that really saves it, and the reason I recommend the M3000 so much, is because they're only like 300 or 350 pounds, right? You get that gun, it's going to get you shooting, it's going to give you a good chance of competing at a good level. And when you want to upgrade, when you want to go and get something nicer, better, more reliable, like an M2 or a 1301, then you've only got 350, 300 pound invested into that gun. If you've gone and spent 1,200 pound on a 940 and you start having issues, you start having problems, or you know, you just find it's not as reliable as an M2 or a 1301, and it's potentially costing you places or match results, you know, you've got 1,200 quid invested in the gun at that point. It's a lot harder to sort of go, actually, I'm going to cut my losses and go to an M2 or a 1301. But there have been a lot of people come out in support of the gun, so it's obvious that there are guns out there that run very well and people are very impressed with. So it's, you know, make of that what you will. Personally, you know, the M2, the reason the M2 is the most popular gun on the practical circuit is because it's consistently the most reliable, and you know, consistent. You know, the world champions use them. You know, that sort of says something. But anyway, that's something I just wanted to clarify. It did sort of made me laugh. Obviously, a lot of people that were upset. I think they felt personally attacked by that video, and that was not the intention at all. A lot of you guys message and email and comment asking for my opinion and my views on guns and my recommendation, and sometimes when I get a number of comments or messages asking the exact same thing, it's just easier for me to make a video. And I'm sure people that have been following the channel long enough, you would have received a linked email from me before, which is, look, just check out this. I think I did it the other day. I think it was actually the long barrel pistols explained video. I was again just getting repetitive questions and messages, which is fine. Don't ever be scared to message or comment. You know, I always like to answer as many as I can, but it gets to a point where I just need to be able to, you know, control C, control V on a video link and say, look, just watch this video, everything should be answered. And that's pretty much what I was doing with the 940. Yeah, and people just didn't take too kindly about it, which, you know, at the end of the day, guys, it's my opinion. You know, that's just my opinion on it. Don't get too hung up on it. What are you? The M3K are okay? Are they? Yeah. Again, I mean, I say the M3000. That's the gun that I use for Section 2 because it's a 2+1. They don't do a 2+1 variant of the M3K. The M3K, again, I highly recommend. Yes, it is not the most reliable gun in the world. Yes, again, the consistency in terms of getting a good gun or getting a bad gun is sort of all over the place. Sometimes you do need to do, let's say, a little bit of post-factory fettling with them, but they're 550 quid. You know, you've got the tube on it, you've got the extended bolt handle, you've got the slightly open port cut. You will need more enlarged safety, enlarged bolt release. The gun is ready to go. Just put a port cut on it and you can go in and enter a competition. Again, £550. If the gun isn't, you know, that reliable, if it's not the best, you've only got £550 invested. And I say it to people all the time. People really do, they stress and really fixate on what gun should I get. Like, oh my, I have to get the right gun when I start practical shoot. I have, or clay, like in not just practical, in any discipline, I have to make sure I get the right gun straight off. Look, when you first start shooting in any discipline, like the least of your worries is going to be the equipment. You know, you're going to have so much to learn, so much skill and experience to obtain before you can worry about the equipment costing you matches, costing you your enjoyment. And that's why I recommend the M3000 and the M3K, because they're 300 quid, 500 quid, they get you shooting, they get you in the game, they get you experience, and then you're most likely going to go off to anything anyway. So don't invest too much into your first gun. Of course, if you've got the money, yeah, go for something nice and shiny. But there's a lot of people, I mean, the first proper practical gun that I bought was a 1301 comp, right? And the gun that I've been shooting more recently is the Benelli M2. So, you know, and the 1301 wasn't cheap, you know, so it's, you can end up investing thousands into a gun that you think suits you at that point. Until you've done a few matches, until you've got there out on the circuit and you've got some experience, don't worry about it too much, because you know, it's like, trust me, it's going to be you letting any gun down. You're going to be the one holding yourself back. It's not going to be the gun, perhaps, unless you buy a Hatsan, because you know, I know I love to hate on the Hatsans. For rough shooting, for, you know, out in the field, fantastic. You don't really need anything more, but there's just something about the Hatsans that make them just so horrific to use for practical shooting. And I've used them. I'm not just saying this, you know, I'm not just saying that, oh, it's because they're cheap guns and I don't like them. Not at all. I've used them a number of times in competitions, in training sessions, and you just cannot get them to work for practical. So that's why I recommend the M3000. That's why I recommend the M3K. Captain Crack coming out with some Captain Obvious. Mars was banned for no logical reason. Yep. We're all with you there, brother. All gun bans are illogical. Well, again, there's very little statistical, well, I don't think any statistical evidence to prove that banning guns, or certainly banning certain particular types of guns, has any effect on gun violence or gun crime. I mean, you know, the number one is, you know, the whole obsession with assault rifles, you know, and the majority of shooting, you know, I'm talking predominantly about in America, you know, this fixation of ban assault rifles, ban high capacity magazines. And it's like, have you actually looked at the statistics for homicide with firearms? Because it's handguns every day of the week. And this is what makes Piers Morgan so laughable. I know there's quite a lot that makes Piers Morgan quite, you know, incredibly laughable. But this, for me, is the main one. There's a video of him somewhere saying how he has absolutely no problem with handguns. He has no problem with concealed carry, with open carry, with people having handguns for self-defense, for sport shooting, for so on and so forth, right? And he fixates on banning the AR-15. Well, it's like, if your end goal is to actually save lives, and okay, I'm all with you guys, banning guns doesn't work, but let's live in magical dream world at the moment with unicorns and rainbows and pretend that it does. If you believe that banning guns solves crime and prevents murder and prevents people from getting hurt, you would save so many more lives banning the handguns out in the States than you would an assault rifle, or AR-15 as they are actually called. So it just makes me laugh. He sits there going, oh yeah, I'm okay with handguns, and it's like, but more people die from handguns. Oh yeah, but you know, it's about the isolated incidences. It's about, you know, more people die when an AR-15 is involved, and you're like, but that makes no sense. So it's like, if 1 million people died, but it was one person, you know, separately, you'd be okay with that. But if 100 people die just in one go, that's unacceptable. And, you know, and it's I hate bringing it back to like cars and planes, but it's the cars and planes analogy. You know, it's like, yes, when a plane goes down, a lot of people die, but far more people die every single day in smaller numbers. Well, you know, smaller per accident, let's say, per, you know, in injuries or deaths per accident in cars than planes, you know. And it's just, there's no logic, you know, and that's of course why I'm with you guys on the, you know, gun bans, gun laws, gun restrictions, for the most part, don't achieve the end result. usually because they're made by people that don't actually understand the community. They don't understand firearms themselves. But yeah, I'm just, you know, preaching to the choir. I'm sure, unless there's any anti-gunners out there that really want to, you know, jump in the chat, and we can go. Don't forget, guys, to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I can see we've got a fair few people in the stream tonight, so thanks everyone for coming out. You know, I can see 74 likes, 152 people. Come on, like, let's get those numbers up. Let's beat the YouTube algorithm, the anti-gun algorithm of YouTube. It does really help the channel. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, we do this every single week. I quite enjoy it. Number of people seem to quite enjoy it. So hit subscribe and the bell notification, and you'll see when anything comes live or obviously comes up and gets released. So there we go. There's my little plug for myself. And now sort of another plug for myself, but more for Connors and Magload. Connors has been a busy boy, and I like looking after you guys, and you get to see all the sneak peeks of products before they go live. And this one, we have a feeling, is going to be particularly popular. We've had already good results or good reports. So some of you may know that as part of Team Magload, we have Jarkko Laukia. He is the current IPSC standard rifle world champion. So when it comes to rifle and practical shooting, there is literally no one else in the world that can sort of you know, has a higher accolade than him, and we're very proud, very honoured to have him as part of the team. But he has been testing this new product and has been consistently asking us for when more are coming, and I can say that that's going to be very soon, because and YouTube, FYI, this is a magazine, not a gun. I'm not handling a firearm before anyone you know, gets too concerned. But yes, so this is a PMag. It's Gen 3 PMag extension from Magload. You can probably make out if I get it on the camera. Come on, focus. See that? It's got the Magload on there. But so it's, I really should have checked with Connors beforehand. I can't actually bloody remember how many it puts in there. Is it plus? I think it's +5. I think it's a +5 extension. But if you want to increase it by, I don't know, +10, +15, why not +25? You can stack them. Now, it's intended, the design of these, obviously you're still using the original spring. We've had absolutely no reliability issues using the original spring. Again, Jarkko has been putting hundreds and hundreds of rounds through his, and we've heard nothing but good things. I think you're probably going to need a bigger spring if you start using these. So of course we like our colours in Magload. So we've got, this is a selection. There are other colours as well. It's a really simple design. Never do things live on camera, but it uses the original base for the PMag magazine. You've obviously got your spring in there, but it's as simple as you get your other base, slide it on, and then on the inside there you have a little grub screw. I'm not going to do it up because I want to be able to take it off, but just in there you would do that up, and you can see the grub screw here just engages on the back of the mag, and then that one would engage on the back there, locking it into place. And then you put the original base pad on there, and then you are good to go. So that's now I believe it's +5 per, so now what was a 25 round magazine is now a 35 round magazine. So yeah, we're very happy with these. We think they're going to be pretty popular. They are the same polymer construction that we use for the majority of our stuff. It's lightweight. It doesn't really add a lot of weight to the magazine. Some people like a little bit of weight on the magazine, but some people don't, because if you're running around with 2, 3, 4 of them, yeah, it can get a little weighty. If you've ever been to a UK PSA shotgun match and you've watched an open shooter run around with their magazines, you can understand why weight on your magazines can be a pretty big issue. But there we go. These are so you're getting such a sneak peek that these aren't even on the website. Haven't even taken photos of these for the website, but they should be going live I think over the weekend. So if you are interested in these, keep an eye on magload.co.uk, keep an eye on the Magload Facebook page as well. These will be live and available to purchase in a variety of colours. Just thinking what's missing from this selection. We do them in white. To be fair, I don't know why I don't have a white one. White's quite easy to do. You've got white, green, purple, pink, and I think that's it. But yeah, we can also do like on request custom colors, so get in contact if you want. But yeah, the Magload PMag extensions, they are here. We've got our first production order. I really think you're going to have to be quick on them, because we already know of a few dozen people that have said as soon as they come out we're jumping on them. So there's my little Magload plug for this evening that keeps Connors happy, even though he's not here in person. He's here in spirit, watching over me. You don't want a Connors watching over your shoulder all day, trust me. But yeah, there we go. That's just a little bit more exciting. You guys having your own little conversations in there. I am here as well. If you want to ask anything, want to talk about any topics, then let me know. The Discord has been kicking off. I'm getting notifications from the Discord. I dread to think what's going on in there. I might just have a quick look to make sure, see if it's anything that's worth putting out on the stream. It does always make me nervous. General shenanigans. Oh god, what's going on here? Oh, I think it's just you guys. You guys taking the piss out of that Basque thing. Oh, you guys saying about apparently there's been some you've been Captain Crack, Christ, yeah, some proper mongos on there tonight. Look, right, you're all fans of the channel, don't fight amongst yourself. Okay, I see what's going on. Again, I haven't maybe I need more people saying that potentially I need more mods, because there's a lot more people commenting. Guys, I don't condone, just for clarity, bearing in mind the police previously have held me accountable for what other people have said on the channel. I don't condone anything, any illegal or unlawful activity. I certainly don't encourage or condone the use of illegal firearms, or the let's say the procurement of illegal firearms. We're all about sport shooting here, a little bit of hunting as well, but yeah, don't be dickheads. I know that's like a hard thing about YouTube comments. I mean, trying to explain to the head of Hampshire Firearm what YouTube comments are like was quite interesting, and he's going, there's loads of really bad comments on there, and I'm like, do you mean my channel or YouTube in general? YouTube comments are notoriously bad. But yeah, anyway, just keep it clean, keep it about the law. Smerald, you're going. I'm going to regret doing this, but I think it's about time, Smerald. I'm going to knight the moderator of English Shooting live stream chat. Use it responsibly. So Daniel now has the power, and we've got Captain Crack in there as well. So guys, if you can just keep it clean, try and keep the people that are trying to condone breaking the law and all that. I'm not interested. That's not what I'm here for. I'm about promoting and talking about shooting sports within the UK, lawful shooting sports. But yeah, thanks thanks for the heads up in the Discord, guys, about that. But yeah, there we go. Oh, I've made Daniel's evening. But yeah, lasers on mini rifle is peak FUD and should be bullied. We don't condone bullying, Daniel. Jesus Christ, I've only just made you a moderator. But yeah, so someone was asking about lasers for mini rifle. Do we really want to go down this one? Do we really want to start this one off? I'm just gonna say that there seems to be a correlation between people that don't actually know anything about mini rifle and those that use lasers. Make of that what you will. And that also end up making a Chris Vector into an elite competition package and then flogging that for some ridiculous sum of money. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about. What do you feel is the most effective way to get handguns allowed for stuff like UK PSA? I think they're already doing it, right? They are doing things like NHTSA. They're first. You need this. This is why I'm so annoyed. Again, the main sort of theme, the main sort of topic for this evening, in terms of the incredibly poor and lousy response from the community on the Firearm Safety Consultation. We need numbers. You need people behind pushing for handguns to be brought back onto Section 1 within England, Scotland and Wales. And there's a lot, bearing in mind handguns. I mean, I was 4 when handguns was banned in the UK, right? So really, for as long as I can remember, handguns have never been legal. I don't know what it was like in the UK or in England, Scotland and Wales before handguns were banned, right? And I'm not exactly the youngest shooter on the range anymore, so there's the whole generation behind me that don't have, there's probably some worrying amount of FAC holders today that have never seen a real handgun, never mind shooting one. So how can you be passionate about changing the law on something if you've never experienced it, if you don't know what you're missing? And I think really that's what the UK PSA's tact is, right? Give people the easiest, sort of cheapest way to go and shoot a handgun, let them get a little taste of it, and then get them hooked, right? And get them passionate about it, get them interested in it. And then you grow it, you get more people pushing, you get more people writing to their MPs, more people responding to consultations, more people petitioning the government, petitioning organisations, petitioning this and that and the other. And before you know it, you have so many people pushing forward for it that the government, the Home Office, the police, they can't ignore it anymore. They have to understand that it's what we want, what let's say the country wants as a whole, and that's what I think the UK PSA are doing it. Yes, the other main reason is to allow our top pistol shooters, well, anybody that aspires to be a top pistol shooter, to go out and get experience and training and regular training out in NHTSA. Obviously COVID's completely fucked that, but anyway, they've got guns out there for people to use, so people can go over there and COVID aside, regularly go and train, so that when we go out for the handgun world shoot, when we go to the European Handgun Championships, when we go abroad to shoot handguns properly, we're not as rusty, we're more trained up, and we're gonna do better. And as soon as we start getting better at it, as soon as more people start getting into it, it will grow, more people will get into it. I absolutely hate, there has been and still is this sort of secret handgun club within England, Scotland and Wales. It's not what you know, it's who you know, and if you know the right people, you can get into the handgun club, and I absolutely hate that. It should be open and available to everyone. So really what they're doing at the moment, getting people getting a little taste of it, getting realizing what they're missing, and then build the numbers. So in terms of what else they could potentially be doing, I think promotion, outward promotion, getting more people into sport. I mean, it's what I say time and time again. It's about numbers. We just need more numbers, more people, and again, why it's so disappointing when only 12,000 people respond to a consultation that will affect every shooter in the country. Lasers belong in Star Wars. Yes, yeah, I'm gonna have to remember that one. They're not clubs anymore, they're cults. It is seriously, like, you know, there was, I mean, before there was NHTSA, before the UK PSA, and I think this is why they really did it, there was this, like, everyone knows who they are, everyone knows that the group, if you know, of individuals, certain individuals that are part of their secret club / cult, and let's just say I'm most definitely not in that club. I'm definitely not a member. I think at least 2, maybe 3 of the guys that are within the club have banned me on Facebook. So yeah, making friends as always. But anyway, what we're drinking. We're drinking. Well, I've just finished it actually. A Brewdog Punk IPA, and now I'm gonna. There's a little bit left. Waste not, want not, and all of that. Now I'm going to do a side-by-side comparison to Sainsbury's own IPA. We should really get sponsored by a beer company. It'd save me so much money. Let's give this let's what? Yeah, it smells like beer. I'm convinced they're the same drink. They are very, very similar. Maybe the Punk IPA is a little hoppier, if I'm going to be. Anyway, we're a gun channel, not a beer channel. But they do go nicely. Don't say it. No, I didn't. I wasn't going to say it. Honestly. Drinking and guns go together, but in a particular order. Always the guns first. Then the drinking. My university club used to say they weren't actually a shooting club. They were a drinking. They weren't. Yeah, that's it. They were a drinking club with a shooting problem. Let's just say that was the polite way of putting it. When they used to do a week at Bisley, they would call it the Easter Bisley sort of camp, and they would buy in bulk by the keg beer, and it was shoot during the day, drink during the evening, and there was no space in between. It's like once you'd finish shooting, you were then drinking, and sometimes, not with consent. It was a little wild. Sorry, Mr. Dodo, I'll get back to you in a second, but there was somebody earlier. Sorry, it just goes so fast. It was Tom Cowell. Sorry, I'd missed your first question. Have I ever shot in the Isle of Man or Channel Islands? No, I haven't. It's been something that I've been meaning to do, or somewhere I've been meaning to go over for a very long time. I just haven't had the opportunity as of yet. I have heard good things. I've heard that they are very accommodating, very open. Pardon me, to the shooting fraternity here on the mainland, because they realise what they've got and they realise what we don't. So it's just like America. I from what people have told me, I find it very. I think it's going to be very similar going to America, where it's like they feel sorry for you, so they want to do everything they can to make you feel a bit better. The Isle of Man is not controlled by the UK. We are a Crown dependency. We are part of GB and not part of the UK. Did I say you were? I'm sorry if I did. Trip to the range, wind down with a beverage. Absolutely. Time to worry is when he starts wine testing. Well, you know what to expect next week. So anyway, Mr. Dodo, is the Discord public or for select folks only? There's no selection there. They let anyone in. Could Mr. Captain or Mr. Daniel please put the link to the Discord? So for those of you that I talk about it every week, because I have a lot of fun in the Discord, amongst other things, and they it's just a great sort of forum, instant forum, loads of chat going on. I think that I'm being buzzed in there right now, actually. And there's an invite link, and all you have to do is follow that link, and it's open to everyone. You just need you just need the link to it. So what's going on? Why are people tagging me in the Discord? No Discord link, not tonight, Satan. I'm trying to get the link put in there. Captain Dan, it is your responsibilities. Could you please do it? People are really not happy with some of the chat that's been in the stream this evening. I've got a few messages. So, just people again warning me of some comments. Again, I'm trying to do like 50 different things at once while I'm streaming. So you can tell when I'm looking at the chat, because the chat is here, and I try to give as much attention to you guys. I can't be, my eyes aren't like that. I cannot be held responsible when I'm streaming, but that's why I have moderators. There you go. There's the link. So just click on that and go through to it. I lost where I am. So let's check on some other actually big news from Highland Outdoors. So they had a first batch of Webley Nemesis X coming in. The whole batch was stolen, and I found an article. I think it was put out today or yesterday. Let's transfer that over. That's the Discord, by the way. I'll try not to show personal messages. sorry, Black Guinea Pig. But yeah, it's that's the Discord. That's what you're looking for. That's what you can get in. But anyway, the article. Stolen Webley Nemesis combo air rifles reappearing. So apparently there's a WhatsApp group selling these guns. So basically, if you see anything like this for sale, so this was the first batch coming in. So there, as far as I'm aware, there is actually no legitimate way to buy these at the moment. If you end up purchasing one of these, it's gonna be handling stolen goods. Like every one of these that are in the country are stolen. So keep an eye out for these. Apparently there's people trying to sell them through WhatsApp. If you see them on Gun Trader, if you see them on Gunstar or on Facebook with people trying to flog them, or any forum or gun group, keep an eye out for them. So it hasn't been, Jesus, it was the same day. That's the same day as the Ely theft. So I don't know, that seems so much of a coincidence. I mean, I made the joke, I shared this article again on the English Shooting Facebook. I made the joke that people would be trying to force 22LR into these guns. Of course, they are air guns. They're not 22. They're CO2. Okay, that's another thing. Watching out for people buying, CO2 for them. But on the same night, to have 330,000 rounds of ammunition, which is very rare for that to happen, and a whole batch of new air guns coming into the country going missing, like that's, what's the Einstein quote? When you've removed, when you've removed all the possible or the probable outcomes, then you're only left with the improbable. It's something like that. Like, some shenanigans are going on there for sure. And I don't mean shenanigans as like an inside job, or it's not true, or it's someone's pulling the wool over our eyes. I mean, that's the chances of two high profile sort of firearm gun sort of shooting thefts on the same day, same evening. That's, I mean, if they are completely unrelated, that is one hell of a coincidence. But anyway, you can see that, as they say, unique guns. They are pretty unique looking. So just keep an eye out for them. If you're offered them, stay well clear. You could be charged. with handling stolen goods. So yeah, don't go near those. But yeah, some pretty big news, some pretty big some pretty big stuff going on the past couple of weeks. That's for sure. Sherlock Holmes. I think it was. No, I swear it was. I swear Einstein said something similar. I swear, or maybe it was. Anyway, they're both geniuses, all right. Like, give me a break. I'm on the same sort of the same track. I'm actually googling Einstein quotes now. Let's have a look, because I swear it was. No, maybe it was Sherlock Holmes. Anyway, you know what I mean. Let's. I'm not going to spend the rest of the. I'm not going to spend the rest of the stream looking at them, but I'll probably spend the rest of the evening after the stream looking at it. Anyway, Sherlock Holmes Sherlock Holmes or Einstein, pretty much the same guy, right? Anyway, how's your lockdown going? Yeah, not good. It's taken its toll, as you can probably tell. When you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. That's what I was going for. Thank you very much, Space Monkey. And I'm guessing that is a Sherlock Holmes quote. Yeah. Is it? Is that, if I put that in there? Yeah, it definitely is. Einstein from now on. No, it's Sherlock Einstein. It's a real person, you know. You need a gondola in the background. Okay. Coming to the UK PSA matches to video them, or I'm definitely going to them to shoot them. We'll be certainly filming the magload shooters there, and I see what other footage I enjoy filming. Practical matches, I enjoy promoting practical shooting. So we'll see what happens, but I'm certainly under no obligation to film them. And you know, we'll see. You know, other people might be there to film them, and then I might be able to just focus on shooting it for a change. So nice to see it's calmed down here in here now. Yes, well, it's since I made Daniel a mod. Maybe I should have made him a mod maybe a lot earlier. He would have sorted out the riffraff. Oh, another interesting one for this week. This is something I can really get behind. The Free Church of Country Sports. So this actually, I wasn't aware of this. I wasn't actually into my shooting at this stage, but apparently back in, I think it was 2004, this first started. So you might be aware that religions have certain rights, certain privileges, and certain protections within UK law. And there's been a number of high-profile religions that have been created, and the way that it works is there's a certain number within the census. I think it might be 10,000 people, but basically we have the 10 yearly census. Again, I think it's 10 years. Might be getting all of this wrong, but anyway, it wouldn't be the first time. We have the census where you get asked all these everyone gets asked all these various questions. What religion you're part of, what just all various questions about the population. But one of the main ones is religion, and they have this rule that if a certain amount of people say that they are a member of a particular religion, that religion then becomes almost officiated, and then you can then say that you are part of that religion. This there's enough people out there that are a part of this religion that it makes it it makes it substantial, it makes it real. And they've done this. The most famous case, I think, was the Jedis. So there was one year where a lot of people said that they were a Jedi Knight, enough people put it down there, so Jedi was recognized as an actual religion. I think vegans have done it. So vegans have said that, you know, veganism is a religion. And people saying, oh, 8,000 people need to do it. So yeah, so 8,000 or more. So vegans said that, you know, this is a way of life, this is a religion, and we need protection because of that. So they did, and in 2004 they tried this, and they're trying it again. This is actually an article from Field Sports channel. Of course, it is the free church. The free church of country sports, but they end up interviewing. There's an interesting video there if you want to learn more about it. Interesting, the guy behind it. There's a Facebook group as well, which is the free church of country sports. I don't know exactly what is within the religion. Of course, you know, I would hope that they are, you know, as part of their religion, they need full auto machine guns, they need handguns, they need, you know, semi-auto full bore rifles, like for hunting, right? Absolutely. So we'll see where that one goes. But yeah, I mean, if 8,000 people put it down on the census and it becomes a religion, you know, these aren't things that we say very often here in the UK, but gun owners would then have some sort of right and some sort of protection under law. So it is very interesting. It's, you know, I think a lot of people will potentially, you know, think it's more of a joke, but there is a fairly serious thing behind it, that actually, you know, as firearms owners, as country sports people, there is no protection. You know, we're always vilified. We're always allowed, you know, people are allowed to attack us. You know, we talked about it last week with the violence against shooters. You know, when a group of hunt sabs go out in balaclavas and go and threaten shooters, they don't get in trouble. But if the shooter threatens any of them, then the shooter's getting in trouble, you know, and it's just a bit of disparity. So we'll see where that goes, but something to be aware of. I think, you know, I'm not actually a religious person. I'm actually I don't know if a true atheist. I would say, again, I get all the meanings mixed up. I would say I'm more agnostic. I believe there is something, there is a higher being, if that's the right word. There is something higher than ourselves, but being sort of engineer, mathematically minded, and sort of a believer of science, I guess science is my main religion, if I'm going to say anything. I believe everything can be explained, but this whatever higher thing there is, we haven't yet reached the point at which we can quantify it. It might be a giant man with a great big beard writing his 10 commandments, or it might be something else, but I don't believe we've reached the point where we can explain it. So that's where I am on religion. Usually I would just say, you know, no religion, but I think I might turn religious if I'm going to be honest. Very British. Has the results of the Firearm Safety Consultation been announced? That was the main topic for this evening, but we're just go over it one more time. So this is the only result or sort of announcement from the Firearm Safety Consultation so far. It's Kit Malthouse, the guy behind it. He's the Minister of State for the Home Department, and he has stated 12,000. That's bugging me. There we go. Highlight it all. 12,000 responses. And basically the reason that this, if you missed it at the start, the reason I've called this live stream Shooting Ourselves in the Foot is because, well, we've done it again. We've had an opportunity to have our say. We've had our opportunity to influence potential new laws and new restrictions. And even if you just take the around 200,000 firearms owners or FAC holders here within the UK, this is around 5% of those. So an absolutely pathetic response. And when you bring in the millions of airgun owners out there that of course are very heavily affected by this, it makes it like less than 1%. It's absolutely to me it's absolutely disgusting. It just for some reason shooters in this country don't seem to care. They don't seem to get, you know, sort of, I don't know if riled up is the right word. I mean, you know, they don't seem to get as passionate about things. They're just very happy to sort of, you know, sit in their armchair, feet up, laid back, and just watch everything go to shit. You know, it's it really has annoyed me that despite all the pushing, again, quick recap, BASC, NRA, NSRA, Countryside Alliance, you know, most of the big organisations, in the scheme of things, did very little to promote it and to get it out to their memberships, and unfortunately this pitiful response is the result. So there's been nothing more so far than this. This is all we have to go on at the moment, but as soon as there's any further responses or updates, I'll be sure to make a video and let you guys know what's going on. Weapons are part of the Mandalorian religion. Maybe we should just all be Mandalorian. I mean, again, we've got 200,000 FAC holders. Getting 8,000, well, you say getting 8,000 to put down a certain religion on a census to afford us more rights and protection, you would be pretty simple. But you can't even get, you only can get 12,000 to respond to something that is actually attacking our sport. So, yeah, we'll leave it at that. The census is meaningless for religion. Legally, it's the Charity Commission's call for charitable and legal protection. A Jedi Knight wouldn't be able to sue for discrimination. So how does that work? Like, who gets to say what? If it's not done by the sheer volume or amount of people, who gets to say what a real religion is, right? Because if it's not about numbers, right? If it's not about numbers, then that equalizes every religion out there. Christianity, Islam, so basically, if the Charity Commission, it basically makes the Charity Commission God, because they get to pick and choose which one is real. So why is Islam any more real than Christianity? Why is Jedi Knight any less real than Christianity? So I don't know. I think it's a bit shit if not. At the end of the day, it should be about the amount of people that see it, the amount of people that identify with that religion. Canada is banning airsoft. Jesus Christ. I will have to have a look at that. What Connors is God? Well, yes, we all know Connors is God, but what God does Connors pray to? That's the real question. The God is Magload. Yeah, we all got a bit of Magload inside us, haven't we? Or Maglube, one of the two. How many 12,000 of those 12,000 were anti? This was exactly the same point that I made earlier on in the stream. Yes, 12,000. I'm assuming that's 12,000 pro-gun responses. Of course, it's not. We'll be lucky if it's 75%, which puts it down at 9,000. It's just utterly pitiful. I mean, I'm not going to make this comparison. Well, I'm going to sort of make this comparison. Oh, no, I am going to make this comparison. But the channel now has nearly 30,000 subscribers, right? And if we're saying that it's 75% of those responses were pro-gun, that's less than a third. Well, actually, at 9,000, I think we've just broken over 20,000 overall. If I want to get, let's have an update. Yeah, 27,000. So let's say 75%. That is literally a third of the subscribership of English Shooting. Now, okay, there's a lot of international subscribers. Hi, if you're watching from wherever you're watching, thanks for joining us. So it's just, I think it's pitiful. When it's like a third of the subscribership of this channel, it should be a lot more. We have 150,000 members of BASC. Let's say 9,000. It's utterly ridiculous. That's less than 10% of the membership of BASC. More should have been done. I mean, technically on that ratio, English Shooting has a better response in terms of members and responses than BASC does. It makes sense in my head. Basically, English Shooting is better than BASC. We all know it. I'm not going to hide it.
It certainly does more for protecting the sport, that's for sure. I can expect an email from Best tomorrow, that's for certain. Anyway, moving on swiftly. Not saying it's fair, that's just the way it is. Even the Jehovah's Witnesses are a registered charity here. If you disagree, I believe you can appeal or sue. It's always an option. My response was careful more for the actual falling on the linguistic trap. Yes, I mean, it was the way that consultation was written. You could just tell it was so anti from the start. It was just constantly trying to trip people up, to get, you know, to basically make you unknowingly agree for more legislation. I just think it's so sneaky, it's so snaky about it. I have a bit of a, let's change the subject, get a bit more positive. There is the modern shooting show. I said I'll talk a little bit more about this later in the stream, so I probably shouldn't have left it this late, because the organisers are good friends with the organisers, and I know them well, and I support them in everything they do, and I'm supporting them in this. So the modern shooting show, we do have some more exhibitors now. So if you go to the website exhibitors and floor plan, you can see Magload proudly there. We've got Caliber Innovations, that's the team that's running the show, New Pro, Attack Sense, Cotswold Classic Arms. So anyone that's interested in seeing the new UK legal long barrel pistol CZ clone, that will be Cotswold Classic Arms. So they'll be there. The Cotswold Classic Arms are also the importer for Battle Arms. I go on about Battle Arms all the time, so go and check those out. I will be doing a dedicated video on this soon, and I have been very kindly, so for those of you that don't know, it's June the 26th this year for the it's on a Saturday, Newbury Racecourse. Like everyone I know is going there. It's going to be the first show of the year, and I really can't wait. And we were very kindly sent, so I'll be doing a dedicated video giving all the details, all the information. Oh, these are going to go everywhere. Giving all the information, and David, who's I believe still watching the stream, I can't believe he's made it this far. Thanks Sam, appreciate that. So David has donated a load of patches. So what I'm going to do is, for the dedicated modern shooting show video, where I'll be giving, I'm actually planning to go and film at the where it's going to be held with David, and learn a bit more about the show, and hopefully break a bit more information to you guys about it. But he's kindly given some patches that I'll be giving away in this video, and it should be coming out in the next week or two. So we have, and you've got a huge bundle. We've got a load of Black Guns Matter patches. Oh, wrong way there. So if you want some of those, then check out that video. We've got some American shooting trips. I love these patches. I think they're so well done. And I love the shape of them. So we've got some American shooting patches that you can win as well. We have some Red Plate Matters patches. Let me guess. I've got them all upside down. There we go. Red Plate Matters, and this is really why you would want to enter or keep an eye out for this video, because there is a patch that will be given away, I've got 3 of them that will be given away that literally money can't buy. They're never going to be made again, mainly because the Colonel got a little bit irate about this, and I'm going to have to be a little bit careful how I show this, so I don't get another cease and desist letter from Kentucky Fried Chicken. But all I can show you is that's all I'm legally allowed to actually show and put out online without attracting another cease and desist letter. But some of you might, you can just about see peeky. You can guess what it is. These, no joke, both Kentucky Firearms Club and myself, for only just sharing a picture of one, got a cease and desist letter from the legal team of Kentucky Firearms Club. Joy, out of all the people I thought I'd get a legal letter from, KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, was not high on the list, if I'm going to be completely honest. So all those patches, there's going to be other stuff as well. We're going to put together some sort of swag bags. That's what I like doing, really. And you have a chance to win those. So keep an eye out for that video on the Modern Shooting Show. But you can get your tickets now, June the 26th. It's going ahead as far as I know right now. It's outside of the lockdown. We should be out of lockdown by then. So yeah, it'd be good to get back into the swing of things, get back into the shows, and start enjoying the free world again. Are you filming on a Nokia 3310 tonight? No, I just think it's your mum holding it. She's a bit shaky. It's maybe what I did prior to her on the stream. It was pretty brutal, but she's a trooper, and she can take it. Come into my world. You're gonna get played. Anyway, moving on. This is a respectable professional channel, I'll have you all know, but I do like people's mums, so watch out. So yeah, anyway, we can and no, I'm not filming on 3310. I'm filming on a Sony A7 III. Maybe it's just your internet connection. You know, don't blame me. Bless his mum. No, she's never been blessed. She's done things. She's going straight to hell. The things she has done. That's all I'm saying. You know, like Barbara, just hold still, just for 1 second. It's what I was telling her earlier as well. But she was a wriggler. Moving on. Anyway, yes. So just don't try it. Just don't try it. I would just go to places you have never even thought of. It's also what I told Barbara, but she seemed to enjoy it. It was a good time. We laughed. We cried. She got shaky. Moving on. I keep saying that. I'm still going on it. That's actually all the points for this evening. What a lovely pointer restaurant. So yeah, I bet you're really you're really glad, Chris, that you joined in for that one. But thanks. Hope you're subscribing. Don't forget to like and subscribe. But yeah, I think on that note, guys, I think it's time to go. Barbara's waiting. So coming to the level 3 shotgun match to film. Yes, I turned. It's the Parkinson's. Oh my god. Well, fair play, Chris. Fair play. I didn't know doing that could give you Parkinson's, but yeah. So there we go, guys. I'm gonna. I'll be on the Discord. So Dan or Captain, if you wanna hit the Discord link, I'm gonna go have a wee, contemplate life for a little bit, maybe get another beer, and then I'll be over on the UK Shooting Discord. If you want to come have a chat, join the Discord. We do this every single week. So it's always 7:30 PM UK time on a Thursday. We've got more videos. What videos are coming out this week? I keep on saying I'm gonna do the LASF 15 versus 1522. Had a number of quests for the top 5 pump action for practical. That was high on the list. Top 5 for top 5 LBPs. Yeah, and I've got a couple of videos in the work. I've just gone completely blank. Anyway, all interesting stuff, as I always try to do. But yeah, keep an eye on the channel, subscribe, like before you go. Everyone that's donated this evening, thank you very much. It's much appreciated. It all goes back into the channel to help run it, to increase the quality. Although from some of you moaning bastards, the quality hasn't been that good tonight, but I don't know why. I try my best every time. But anyway, there we go, guys. Someone chuck the link for the Discord before we all go. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining. It's been an absolute riot. Barbara's enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it. You look like you've enjoyed it. But there we go. As always, guys, I hope to see you soon.